Now back in the day, when I was going out and slaying women left, right and centre, I used to have a nickname, and that nickname was Kong, largely because of the size, the enormous length and girth of my reproductive organ. But putting that to one side, common mistakes guys make when they approach is retarded body language. So putting Kong to one side, we're going to have to look at me now. So I mentioned it before briefly, but it's just little things like this. So it's like you've been told before on videos that it's a good idea to stand with your legs splayed really far apart and thrusting your crotch forward. But if you can tell me what planet you're on if you're doing this kind of thing and thinking that's attractive, the woman's looking at you thinking you're a weirdo and you're a retard. These people walking past agree with me and laughing at me and agreeing that I look like a retard. I agree with you. I don't do that normally. The second one is nervous habits like touching your nose, your face or stroking your beard and acting like a weirdo, you know? It betrays a certain kind of nervousness, makes you look shifty, possibly like a serial killer. And the third one was any kind of gay or faggoty body language mannerisms. So there might be some guys that you've watched and you thought, well, that guy is gay, it's therefore, or ergo, following the logical chain of progression, I too should act gay, and I'm sure to bang more women if I act gay. So it's things like this, or like rounding your shoulders, or slump shoulders forward, nice and strong, and stand with the back, like him over there. Do you think he has a problem being an alpha? Do you think he has a problem with body language? Can you imagine that thing over there having a problem with body language? Now, if that was to in fact, thinking about it, wasn't there a story about some Chinese girls that really fell in love with this amazingly large and beautiful creature like that, you know? So don't listen to me, let's focus on him and just ask him what to do. Politely, I suggest. Now, I'm not talking about the guys that I've coached on my one-on-one 5-day residential programs, which are very good value and guys get a lot of it and virtually always get laid. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about guys that do daygame. And another common mistake is turtle avoidance of actually escalating on the girl. You think to yourself, does this guy actually want to go to bed with any women? Because you wouldn't think so by the turtle and utter avoidance of any kind of escalation at all. So we talked earlier, and maybe the standing too far away and the retarded body language is a subconscious way of blowing yourself out to the terrifying prospect of being blown out. But then another way is just turtle avoidance of any kind of escalation. So you must escalate, you have a penis, she has a vagina, you want to get with a girl, and you're not going to get anywhere. There's a window that closes, and if you're turtly avoiding escalating, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's what you need to think about as well.
Right, you're on.
And sometimes when you see a guy about to approach a woman, it's almost like it's a deer in the headlights, you know? This terrified look, very afraid about what's about to happen. Oh, damn it. Always approach, yeah. Now I know everybody's different, but one of the common mistakes I see, and virtually every guy does this when they get into game, is they don't enjoy it. You should be waking up with fire in your belly and a real spring in your step when you go and approach women. If you don't approach women almost like springing along with a spring in your step, showing the joy of the moment, then you're going to be much less effective when you go up and talk. Have a nice breakfast, don't go out and get drunk and roll around on the floor at 2 AM with your mate doing jiu-jitsu moves and stuff. Have a nice breakfast, some eggs maybe, and some sausages, and then wake up with a real spring in your step when you go and approach women, and you're sure to have great success. So one of the key things about when you're talking to women, when you're approaching women as well, is to not get emotionally butthurt and carried away if she said something you don't like, and certainly never ever get snappy, you know? So if she says something you don't like, just be calm about it, and maybe if you say something and you want to kind of like, not slap her down, but you want to react to it a bit, because I react sometimes if a girl crosses a boundary, I'll say something, but not in a snappy way, or snippy or snappy, not snip snap, not snip snap, nice and calm, and just say, look, come on darling, that's silly, you know, say it with love, but never ever get snappy. His fucking mouth's open. Zoom in on his gob, look, his mouth's open. Brilliant. Now it's been said in game as well, one of the best qualities you can have, one of the best attributes you can have, one of the best talents you can have is to have an excellent memory. Really helpful for remembering those brilliant and useful day game routines. But putting that to one side, another thing that you can do to when you approach girls to have success is to remember what you're about to say. So that's where the memory comes in, and also to stop cutting into the girl when she actually starts talking. So when there's a conversation, if you say the word conversation, that has a connotation of meaning more than one person. So if you're talking to the girl and she starts saying something about, oh yeah, I remember that, and then you go, and back to me, and start talking about yourself or something about you, you're being very tone deaf, it's quite rude, and you're displaying, again, I keep talking about this, lack of empathy. So you're not interested in what she's saying. And so she's probably going to get the impression, first of all, this guy's quite rude, and secondly, it's not really high value either. It's high value to kind of listen and switch off and you know, transmit and receive as well, you know, so listen to what she's saying. And it's also a good way of generating a good conversation is to listen and then respond to something that, you know, and riff off that, rather than just constantly talking in a very robotic way. And I guess it's would you say it's quite Asperger's to just keep talking about what you want to talk about and thread cutting constantly? I mean, you can do it to a certain extent, and thread cutting is a way of building attraction at the right point and used judiciously, you know, but not just used with impunity and just doing it all the time and constantly cutting her off. It's very rude and very annoying. And if she knows any BJJ, there's a good chance she's going to put you in a headlock and probably choke you. So if you want to approach correctly, like I say, I have my Secret Society video product, 5 hours on how to approach. Check it out and then you'll be laughing in no time and approaching women. But if you do want to have success in game, it is said that you need to have a very thick skin. That's one of the key components of success in game, is a very thick skin. Putting that to one side though, another common mistake guys make when they approach women is they don't talk loud enough. So girls are not like a bat or like Batman or some kind of you know, superhuman being. They can't hear minuscule squeaky noises. So when you go and talk to a girl, you need to talk with at least a reasonable volume. I'm not talking about shouting or being alpha or trying to project too much, but just, you know, loud enough so that the girl can hear you. About this kind of volume, he says, standing next to Jimmy. Jimmy, am I talking quite loud? Reasonably loud,
I can hear you just about.
You can hear me just But when you go and talk to a girl, and if you're quiet, it betrays a certain nervousness maybe, or you're not confident in what you're saying, you're worried about taking up space and drawing attention to yourself, etc, etc. So couple the loud-ish voice with some nice open body language. So the point about body language is if it's closed off, it means that you're trying to protect your vital organs. Actually a psychological reason for it. So if you open up your body language, what you're showing there is that you're not afraid of being attacked, so it shows a lot of confidence. So open body language, projecting the voice out, and there is ways of training your own voice. You can look at it on YouTube. There's various videos about practicing projection so that when you're talking you can have a nice volume to your voice, volume and timbre to your voice. And don't forget about the thick skin, it's very important. There is an expression that a leopard never changes its spots, and so it's very hard to actually fix some of your approach mistakes. But the most common one that I see when I'm walking around Warsaw and I observe all the daygamers in all their glory not being chased by a leopard, when I see them out doing their approach, the most common one is that guys stand too far away from the girl. So let's imagine I'm here and there's a dangerous animal probably just in the background there, or just, you know, right next to me, and the girl, so I'm here and this hypothetical girl is over here, and so they stand about 7 or 8 meters away. Now you tell me, now you gotta get closer because the mic's not going to pick me up. Maybe you can tell me how I'm supposed to touch somebody without long spaghetti arms like old Jimmy, if I'm more than that distance. I can't touch her, I can't get in close and give her a little tap on the arm, I can't grab her and grapple her around the neck, choke her out, I can't do any of those things. I'm not close enough to initiate kino and to cause attraction and to sort of eye gaze and lock her in my mesma. I can't do it if she's too far away. So that's the first common mistake, is don't stand too far away from girls. So again, about 8 meters away, this is what I see. So 8 meters away, and then the exaggerated day game stance, and sometimes a bit of rocking, like this. A bit of rocking, thrusting out the belly, and trying to chat up a girl, talking about their mesma, or whatever they talk about. Not going to work, not going to be attractive. And also you've got if you have a look closely behind me, he's having a very close look at me as I'm doing it, thinking, who's that idiot? What is he doing? And can I possibly jump over this fence and eat him?
Right.
So I hope you've enjoyed this little roundup of common reasons why you're getting rejected, or common approach mistakes. I mean, what we're trying to do really is help you to seal the deal. Seal the deal with girls when you see them and when you approach them. It really helps to seal the deal if you do things correctly. Think about what you're doing, and if you follow the advice in this video, you are sure to seal the deal the next time you go out on a daygaming session approaching women. Did this help you seal the deal? Let me know in the comments, and put a comment below like it, share the video, and remember guys, it's all about sealing the deal.
I can't find the fucking...
He's over there.
There's a seal somewhere. Just...
It's right there.
Right, he's there. Hold on.
Huge. So remember, what we're going to try and get you to do is seal the deal when you approach, yeah? It's really important that you seal the deal.